Mrs. President, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. Hola, dear Bom. First of all, let me offer my warmest congrats to your anniversary. You can be very proud how successful STI has been over the last 44 years. From the very first day, the fire was there. The fire to fight for your colleagues, to fight for better salaries, to fight for better work conditions, to fight for justice. And this is our common mission in Europe. Just imagine how it started back in the days. 44 years ago, nobody had a mobile phone, an iPad, or even a computer. Nobody was thinking about video conferences, which seem to make the world smaller and smaller and bring people together. Nobody was thinking about this COVID-19 virus and all the social distancing. It's crazy how the world has changed over the last 44 years. And this brings our European trade unions, our professional unions, to totally new challenges. Today, I would like to highlight two topics which will drastically change the way of working. These two topics belong strongly together: the globalization of the economy and all the digital developments. Does anybody think that we get rid of the digitalization? Let's have a look on how fast new technologies found their way to people over the last 100 years. It's kind of breathtaking. On the left side, you see the telephone. Around 1900, the first telephones were brought on market. And you see, it took until the year of 1970 when 80% of the households had a telephone. So 70 years. Or let's see the TV. The bright blue line in the middle. 1940, the first TVs. And in 1980, we reached 80%. Just 40 years. The mobile phone was faster, 6-7 years. And then the smartphone came. It took just a little over 2 years until nearly everybody got a smartphone. Why do I tell you this story? I would like to bring your attention, your focus to the fact that the speed of digital developments becomes faster, faster, and faster. And we, in our tax administrations, are right there in the digital topics. And this is interesting. Some of our European countries have a leading role. Some are a little slower. But in the end, we cannot stop this process. But we can shape the process. We, as trade unions, should offer our thoughts and experiences. It would be a big failure to just watch the game from outside as a spectator. We have to keep in mind that many of our colleagues are afraid of the future. The elderly people, the old generation. There is fear. Words like artificial intelligence are floating around. And our colleagues are worried. Will we be useless in the future? I'm going to tell you the German story. Several years ago, we introduced the so-called risk management system. The big goal of this risk management system is that most of the tax declarations are completed automatically by the computer. Nobody ever touches them. And of course, the so-called artificial intelligence will be interesting there. The big advantage of the computer is to connect data. The computer sees in which jobs fraud happens, and then where it needs to check. The computer learns from what we are doing. We, the older generation, we know pretty good where the fraud happens. We feel it, we smell it, that something is not correct. Will all this knowledge be useless in the future? Will the computer control our future? I don't think so. I think that the easy cases will be done by the computer, but the difficult cases, where there is no clear yes or no, that will remain for us. Times of easy working will be over. We will have an extreme density of hard decisions. And the big challenges for our European trade unions will be the following. How can we adapt the salaries to the new situation? What can be the profit of the digital age? Should we think about reducing working hours? How can we transfer the knowledge, the experience, the ability to smell to the younger generations? The second big topic I want to talk about, the globalization of the economy. 44 years ago, the situation was totally different. Most of the goods were produced and sold locally, or they were exported. This was kind of difficult with all these custom declarations, but the system was running. In most European countries, the tax laws have been introduced in the time after the Second World War. And of course, these laws, they mirror the situation back in the days. But so much has changed. The world became very small. And the digital industry grows and grows and grows. And our tax laws, they are not adapted to the new situation. Let's have an example. Facebook. The algorithm is programmed in the Silicon Valley, and the big data center are somewhere in Scandinavia because it's quite cold there and they don't need so much energy to cool them down. And then, yes, right in front of you, you put the data in your mobile phone, in your personal Facebook, Twitter, or let it be Instagram. The big question is, where is the production process? I don't know. The three places somehow belong together. But of course, the big companies know precisely where it is produced. Mostly there where the tax rates are low. And we all know that the tax rates of Apple, Facebook, and so on, they are widely below 1%. And I ask you, is this okay? We have to adapt our laws to the new reality. Not in Portugal, not in Spain, not in Germany. We need a worldwide, or at least a European answer. And there is light on the horizon. The European Commission puts a very strong focus on tax topics. Some months back, a permanent tax subcommittee was created in the European Parliament for the very first time. And at the OECD level, it is said that Pillar 1 and 2, what if nothing else than a complete change in the taxation of companies, will be finalized in this year. We know that Donald Trump was fighting against these OECD ideas. But now, Joe Biden does the complete opposite. And he claims a minimum corporate tax rate of 21%. The train is running and nobody can stop it. Just imagine what such a heavy change in tax laws would mean for us. For all the international developments, we all need to stand together in our UFE. We need to bring our view, the practical view, to the European Commission, to the OECD level. A national trade union like STI is no player in Europe. But together, we stand for over 400,000 civil servants. In the end, I would like to thank you for listening, but especially for your daily work. Your colleagues, they need you. They need you every day. And this COVID-19 virus has changed this situation drastically. We cannot be present personally. We cannot talk face to face with our colleagues as we have been used to for many years. But I know that Portugal and the STI do a great job. And I'm very happy that Anna is in our UFE Presidium. She does a great job, and you all should be very, very proud of her. All the best to you, to your families, and I hope to see you soon. Keep the fire burning